Hey everyone, in this video we'll learn about how to add and subtract complex numbers. So let's go through an example together. Let's say we had 3 plus 9i plus 1 plus 2 minus 3i. So as you can see, we have a few complex numbers. We have imaginary numbers right here in blue, 9i and negative 3i. And we have some real numbers as well that I'll underline in green, 3, 1, and 2. So it's very similar to adding and subtracting binomials. So in this case, we're adding both of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to first use PEMDAS. We're going to look within the parentheses. So let's look within each set of parentheses and see if there are any other like terms that we can combine. So right here, you might notice that there are a few like terms in this first set of parentheses. There is the positive 3 and the positive 1. So we can simply just combine those. What is 3 plus 1? That is 4. 4, and then we will bring down the 9i. So plus 9i plus 2 minus 3i. Excellent. So now we're left with these two complex numbers, and they happen to be in a plus bi form, 4 plus 9i, and 2 minus 3i. And they're each embedded inside sets of parentheses right here, and right here. So what we can do is take a look inside the set of parentheses. Are there any more like terms within these parentheses? There aren't. So we can bring down these parentheses. And same goes for this one. There are no more like terms within this set of parentheses. Good. And we could see right outside the parentheses there is a positive right here. There's a plus. So we don't have to worry about distributing anything. If it were a negative, that would be a different story. But we can go ahead and drop these parentheses down. So let's drop this down and that down. And let's go ahead and rewrite this. So we have 4 plus 9i plus 2 minus 3i. Good. So now we can continue to combine like terms. We can combine the 4 and the positive 2, and we can combine the 9i and the minus 3i. So whenever you're dealing with imaginary or complex numbers, you can combine the real parts. So the ones underlined in green are 4 and 2. Those are real numbers. And we can combine the imaginary numbers, the ones underlined in blue, positive 9 and negative 3i. Positive 9i and negative 3i. Those are imaginary numbers that we can combine. So it's very similar to combining like terms with polynomials. So we can go ahead and let's combine the ones in green first. So what is 4 plus 2? That is 6. And then now what is 9i minus 3i? And how you subtract them. So what is 9 minus 3? That's 6. So plus 6. And we'll bring the I down. So 9i minus 3i is 6i. Again, very similar to combining like term variables. So that is the sum of these two complex numbers. So 3 plus 9i plus 1 plus 2 minus 3i. That evaluates to 6 plus 6i. And that's how you add complex numbers. Now let's go through an example together of how to subtract complex numbers. So let's go through this example. Let's say we had negative 5 plus 8i minus 10 minus 4i plus 4. Okay, so again, we have two sets of parentheses, and we're going to look inside each one to see if we can combine any like terms. So in this first set right here, there are no more like terms, so we can just go ahead and drop the parentheses here. Good. And within this set of parentheses right here, we can combine these two like terms, positive 10 and positive 4. So what is 10 plus 4? That is 14. So we'll write 14, and we'll bring down the minus 4i. And we'll bring down everything else. So we drop these parentheses, so we'll bring down all this. Negative 5 plus 8i minus, and there we go. So before we can drop this set of parentheses right here, we have to distribute this negative sign. So we have to distribute this negative sign to each term on the inside. So whenever you distribute a negative, you're just flipping the sign of each term. So positive 14, what's positive 14 flipped? That's negative 14. And negative 4i, what's negative 4i flipped? That is positive 4i. And let's bring down everything else. So negative 5 plus 8i. Perfect, we're getting close. So we have two real numbers we can combine, negative 5 and negative 14. And we have two imaginary numbers we can combine, positive 8i and positive 4i. So let's go ahead and combine our real numbers in green. What is negative 5 minus 14? That is negative 19. And in blue, what is positive 8i plus 4i? So what's 8 plus 4? That is 12. So positive 12. Positive 12. And then I. So if 8 plus 4 is 12, then 8i plus 4i is 12i. And there we go. Negative 19 plus 12i is a complex number, and that is the solution to subtracting these two complex numbers up here. And that would be our final answer. So that's how you add and subtract complex numbers. I hope this video helps, and if you have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.